Hey everybody, my name is Chuy Gutierrez and welcome back to Boss Labs. And today I just really quickly want to go over how a light meter and your camera shooting log footage can be best friends. If you don't know what log footage is, it's a flat picture profile that cinema cameras and some mirrorless cameras use that gives you as much dynamic range as possible. It's trying to retain as much information and highlights and shadows as possible so that you have some flexibility when it comes to grading your footage in post. But sometimes it gets a little tricky when you're running and gunning or shooting some doc style stuff. You don't always have time to do a proper exposure. And what I mean by that is a lot of the times when it comes to shooting log footage is the camera, the profile is gonna want a certain value in the waveform monitor for middle gray or an 18% gray card. So you may not always have the time to run up and put up a gray card or have someone hold up a gray card for you and make sure you fine tune your exposure. A light meter is gonna help you speed that up quite a bit. But the first thing you need to do is sync them up. So what I did here was I did a quick test where I was in control of my lighting and I set up a scene where I could measure the light using the waveform monitor on my camera to have that value of 40 for C-Log2 in camera, right? I was seeing the gray card and it was registering at 40 on the waveform monitor. So then what I did was I did a metering with this light meter and I wanted to see if they matched up. And if they didn't, what you can do is you can mess with the exposure compensation on the light meter so that your camera and your light meter are registering the light the same for that value at 18% gray. You can also add things like ND information if you're having NDs on your camera so that the light meter can take that into account. So now that I have that working together and have it synced up, I wanted to do a test where I was in control of my lighting in a different part of the building. So I had my friend Jackie meet me up and we're in this room that has some nice window lighting and a little bit of diffusion with the window blinds, but I'm not in control of any of it. So I did a metering with the light meter and it gave me an exposure. I set my settings on my camera to that exposure, but just in case I wanted to see if that was matching up with the 18% gray card. So I started popping up and down the 18% gray card to see what it was doing on my waveform monitor. And sure enough, I was getting the value of 40 that my camera wants to see. With that information, I just now know that I could be running and gunning and my light meter and my camera are set to see that 18% gray or to see that exposure very, very, very close to each other, if not perfectly. So I can just be running, gunning, take a quick exposure with my light meter, knowing that I'm gonna be exposed for the value of the gray that my camera wants to see for middle gray. And that to me is very exciting and it's gonna speed up process, especially when I'm shooting doc work and I wanna get proper exposure, but I don't have time to be fumbling around with my gray card. Literally, go out, press the button once, change my settings and move on. I hope this video helped, and if you wanna see more content from our studio, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Everybody helps, right? So yeah, we'll see you next time and thanks for watching.